one Pro Bowl. You played in, I believe, 3 of those.
Yeah.
Three of them. You had some good games. Pro Bowls this weekend. Are you excited? You can see him on Speak and FS1. LeSean McCoy is here.
Yeah, I mean, the Pro Bowl, I don't know now, though. They just give anybody Pro Bowls now. It's
oh!
Like, you know, it's a time, right, an era we had to actually go get it, go earn it.
Who doesn't deserve a Pro Bowl?
I mean, I don't want to go to that, but this is like, man, it's like, oh, Pro Bowl, you want to play? You not playing? Pro Bowl. It's like everybody's getting these alternate Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would Brock Purdy be a Pro Bowl vote for you?
Yeah, Brock, I would give him a Pro Bowl vote. They're good this year.
Here, I watched your show, Speak, on FS1. Everybody should catch it with joy. Acho has a lot to say about Brock Purdy, a lot of opinions. You are sort of lukewarm, or like, you love or hate everything. You've got an opinion. What's your Brock Purdy opinion?
I'm just super honest, and people, they're not comfortable with it. Like, I think Brock is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody's making this whole narrative, you got to be the best player on the team, or you got to be... No, listen. He is a really good quarterback for his team, right? And I can't fault him for having great players around him, right? Now, I don't think he's this superstar, top tier, top 5 quarterback, no. But in his system, he's good at that. And it's like, why does that matter? Why we got to, kill him for being on this team that has good defense and good offense?
So you're in the Cam Newton world on Brock Purdy?
I mean, even Cam. So I get where Cam was coming from. Like, he spoke about it. Like, he keeps going back to it, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is, Cam has a point where he's maybe not a game changer, right, a certain way, but he's good for his system, right? And in Cam, I think to a certain extent, he was good for a few years. He wasn't like a super great quarterback like that, being honest.
He was an MVP.
I mean, you look at it. He got 2 good years or something like that, right? And it's not against Cam, because Cam's my guy. I'm just saying, overall, it's like, everybody doesn't have to be the best player on a team or the best player for you to get your credit. I think Cam he had that MVP year, and then maybe a year after that, he was pretty good. But over that, he was just okay. He was all right, right?
So it's because it seems to be people love him or hate him. To me, I look at it and I say, how could you not love that he's a last-round draft? How could you not love the story of it? And then you hear things like, I don't know if you heard Jed York say that Shanahan came to him when it was Trey Lance.
Seen it, yeah.
So, well, I mean, you know Shanahan. What does that say about Brock that he said that?
Yeah, well, that takes a lot of guts to say that. You're paying the quarterback $20 million with Jimmy G. He's not that good, but $20 million, $20 million. And then you trade 3 first-rounders for Trey Lance.
Crazy.
That's not good, but, I mean, that's wild. And then you tell her, hey, listen, I know you're the owner, but the third string's the best guy. So I respect what Kyle did, because most coaches won't do that. They'll go with the money or the investment with the draft picks.
Because they were part of the choice.
Right. And another thing is, it's like, he's earned it, right? Maybe he don't have to go out there and throw for 350 every game, but he's winning with the way he's playing. And that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to be a all-decade or all-pro players.
But when it counts, he does it.
For the most part, yeah.
And that matters, right? I mean, outside of bad weather, when it rains, that's not good.
I just think that, if Patrick, well, he's not Patrick, but if Josh Allen had a bad first half, Jalen Hurts, my quarterback, if he have a bad first half in games, right, and the second half he plays better, we gonna praise Jalen Hurts. I feel like with Brock, it's like, he only had 2 good drives. Bro, he won the game. Give him the credit.
Game-winning drive. Who would you rather have, Jalen Hurts, your quarterback, or Brock Purdy?
I think they're all kind of the same boat. I think.
That's high praise. That's a quarter.
Yeah, I think
so
they're the same
Jalen and
boat.
Brock are sort of in the same.
I mean, if you just look at Jalen had a phenomenal year last year.
Yeah.
This year, kind of up and down. There was doubts about him, and then he proved the doubters wrong. I think Brock Purdy had a lot of doubts about him. He kind of proved them wrong. There's been some games where they talk about how he survives off the teammates he has. Jalen Hurts, they talk about how he survives off the teammates he has. So they're all in the same boat, the underdog type of role.
Yeah. If they're on that boat, what boat is Dak Prescott on? Because you're talking about 2 dudes that got to the big game, proved themselves. What boat is Dak on?
Dak is like the Dak is a good player, right? He's another one. I feel like the team he plays on, right? The hype, the brand of the Cowboys, it's got to be, is he a superstar? He can't just be a good quarterback. So they make the whole thing of well, he's not that good. My thing with Dak is he is a good starting quarterback for that team. I don't look at him as this and that. He had an elite year this year for the most part.
Yeah.
But overall, if you look at him, it's if you had to take, I guess, one position from the Cowboys, why they can't get over the hump, he's the answer.
Well, he can't be on the boat with Brock and Jalen. Brock and Jalen got there.
That's true. With the Super Bowl, you got a point.
He's not on that boat. You can't put him up there with them.
And they call me biased. And you saying the same thing? You keeping it real?
I'm a LeSean McCoy gal, so that's just it. You have a podcast. Congratulations coming out.
25-10 with my boy Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Were you mad that he came out and said what the name of it was on my show? Because I was like, I don't think you should be telling me all this. I'm sure you guys want to do an announcement or something, but it's you and D-Jack.
Yeah. I mean, we got big enough names, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it, know a lot of connections. So
yeah.
We started with I Am Athlete. The cool thing is we had a great relationship playing-wise, right? We never had no egos. We always was friends. My parents is cool with his parents, vice versa. Yeah.
Cool.
So, and then we did I Am Athlete, and it was fun.
Look at you.
Right,
This is the other night. Oh.
At the Lakers game.
LeSean, you're living a pretty good life these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm retired. I have a little fun, you know?
2-time Super Bowl champion. What do you want the show to look and feel like?
I want it to be authentic, right? A lot of shows, a lot of podcasts I do or I'm a part of, you know, I want it to be authentic. And I want to speak from the heart, right? I don't want to be, catering people's feelings. I don't want it to be like being biased. Nah, we're going to be honest. And I want to have a conversation with people that people are not hearing, right? And it's not all athletes. It's entertainers. It's regular people. It's everybody. So I just want to have an organic conversation and be free, right? And ask the tough questions that nobody wants to ask.
Yeah, I remember Good Morning Football with you probably 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. We would wake up these early mornings, and I remember you saying, I love how you celebrate the players. You're positive, you're not trying to cut them down. And I said, yeah. And you were sort of figuring out, what do I want to be? And I thought I never heard a player talk about being so thoughtful with, do I want to be, I could go hot take, probably do really well. I could do this. You were really wanting to figure out how to navigate yourself, and what you came up with sitting at that table on Good Morning Football with me in our talks and breaks and stuff was just honesty. You kept just saying, I just want to be honest. And if I'm being honest and it's my opinion and there's fact, and I think it's been really successful for you.
And I think if you do know me, you know this is who I am. I'm authentic, I'm funny, I'm cool, but I am honest. If you don't know me, you're going to think, well, either he's super honest or he comes off as a hater, right? But my thing is, no matter what you think or what you guessing, you know I'm going to give you the real. And I think you can respect that. You know, like if you're a good player, I'm going to speak good about you. Bruh, if you're playing bad, I'm going to talk bad about you.
So what's it going to be like at Super Bowl when you run into some of these guys like Dak and company?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I ran some of these guys, right? You can just tell, you know.
What is it like?
I won last Super Bowl. I was at I seen Dak at the Super Bowl, and it was in the club and the environment. I know his agent, whatever. We're kind of at the same table. It wasn't like he ignored me. I guess.
Who's his agent? Todd France?
Todd France.
Yeah.
And a cool dude I know from Fresh
So Todd France was in the club with you and Dak and LeSean. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, and Trent Williams was there. We was all hanging out, and it wasn't like a.
Oh, I would have just hid behind Trent and said.
Yeah. Oh, I ain't high. I ain't doing no high. But it wasn't like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like
it was okay.
Yeah, it's like, because the thing is, the things I'm saying
are true.
They're not lies. Now, maybe I did get overboard and called him ass.
You called him ass?
Oh, didn't you see that?
Oh,
it was a fun moment.
So many things.
He threw some pics. I was like, oh, he's ass. It was just like,
Well, we'll get a taste of that on your podcast with Deshaun. Deshaun comes on my show sometimes.
That's
He's
right.
got some wild
I seen
takes.
last he had them big dark glasses on.
I don't know what he does on any given day, but let's take a listen to one of the hot takes Deshaun Jackson had recently.
It's hard to pick against Mahomes and Andy Reid for one. For two, I feel like Taylor Swift. It's a lot about Taylor Swift. I think they're gonna want her to be in the Super Bowl as Taylor Swift. So
You think there's some script writing going on?
As much as I want to pick Lamar Jackson because I feel like they've been on fire all year. I'm like, how the NFL? I feel like they're gonna just want Taylor Swift to be in the booth and they be showing her all dang day.
What do you make of that take? Kind of a weak
Swiftie.
take. Kind of a weak take out of Deshaun. You're going to eat him alive on this podcast, I think.
See, that's not authentic. D-Jack, 25-10. We do not want that. We want the truth.
What would the truth have been? He said he wanted with his heart, he wanted Lamar to win. Yeah. But then he said that Mahomes, like, with his brain, of course, because
I got to be honest. I was going for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid because of relationships, right? Of course. But the one thing is, how can you not love Lamar Jackson? I love Lamar Jackson. The whole thing about him having his mom as the agent, and I say this truly, if he'd have won, it'd have been better for the young black kids in the communities we come from because they tell you that, he runs too well, he can't be a passer, you know, and guys like him, well, what can you tell him now when a guy that looks like me, runs like me, has my style of play, is in a Super Bowl? right?
He's proved everybody wrong every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
You asked how you could not root for him. The only way is if you cannot handle people doing things outside of the way you expect them to do it.
Yep.
But that's why you love him.
That's why I love him.
Don't have an agent. Go on. Sorry, Todd France.
Yeah.
But
that's
we
what
want
it
Lamar
is.
to succeed on that
Because
level.
they make it like everything has to look a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And you look at Lamar, the first thing they said was, well, man, can't take him. He has to be a running back. Can't take him. He might be a quarterback or a wide receiver. No, he's a quarterback. He's been good in high school. He's been great in college, right? He's been great in the NFL. Just has to get that Super Bowl so we can really...
It's on the coaching staff, too. They needed to, and I like Baltimore, but they needed to run the ball a little more.
For sure.
They got
They're
away from
running
who
team.
they were. It was weird.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about, by the way, my hot take, that was Deshaun's. Usher's going to be like a top 5 Super Bowl halftime show of all time. That's my hot take.
That's Usher. Ain't no wrong. That's Usher. Ain't no wrong with that.
I feel like nobody's talking about this Super Bowl with Usher. Nobody.
That is true.
Everybody's talking about Taylor, everybody, whatever, like obviously the one in LA killed it, but I feel like nobody's expecting much out of Usher, and I think he's gonna shut it down.
I wonder why that is. It's Usher we talking about here. Why that is.
He's got so many good
I love Usher, though. He got a lot of hits. Even he has that thing in Vegas he used to have,
Yeah,
right?
the
Everybody was
residency.
dying to go there to just watch him perform. So.
I'm excited to see it. Okay, I want to ask you about the Eagles because we had this. Did you see this thing about Vic Fangio?
I seen it.
So he's your DC now, obviously, but he was in Miami, and there was some sort of like, he didn't like the nightlife, or there's something going on in Miami. When you heard this, did you hear this?
Nah.
Okay, so he was basically saying he was not enjoying that the players were enjoying the Miami nightlife too much, and he wasn't having it. When you hear a story like that,
In them streets.
but I always hear Miami. Is that a real vulnerability for players down there in Miami? In your experience?
Think about this, though. Yeah, hell yeah. They're going to have the same issue in Vegas. I can't imagine playing over there. You making millions of dollars, you young, you 25, 23.
Well, you were in Philly. You drove to Atlantic City, I'm sure.
You know I did, right? I know. I would, and this was in my prime.
Wawa.
I would have a game,
Oh,
then go straight down Atlantic City with the boys, and then take a.
What is it, an hour and a half?
Yeah, about an hour.
Oh, my God.
We go to New York City, so I get what he's saying. I mean, it's Miami. I remember when I was playing with the Bills, and we would play Miami. This is when Rex Ryan was the coach. He said, fellas, you go out there, you kick some tail, you win this game, you can stay in Miami till Wednesday. We look around, I said, look, all the young boys, let's have a meeting. Y'all get in y'all film room, y'all get y'all studying, y'all know what y'all doing, let's win this game, because I'm trying to be in these streets.
So that's how to motivate players. It's a bigger question. I obviously wanted those fun stories out of you. That's why I asked you this, and you just completely delivered. But you look at Vic Fangio. You've got, you hate Belichick. I know.
I don't hate Belichick.
I'm kidding. You make the case that he's 70 plus, that he can't relate to players. Vic Fangio, we're in this world where these older, like the Winks, they're getting put out. They're getting phased out of the game.
Right.
Is Vic Fangio going to be able to relate to the players in that Philly locker room?
I don't know him that well, so I can't speak on that. And the players I do know that were coached under him, I didn't never ask. But I will say this though, it's a reason why a lot of the older coaches are moving out and they're hiring younger and younger and younger, because the younger coaches, they can relate and they're being successful. Look at Kyle Shanahan, right? And the guys he came from that tree with the Washington Redskins at the time.
McVay and all them.
McVay, all them guys, right? Like Floor, all them. They young dudes that's successful, that take pride in winning games. And the one thing about Andy Reid, what makes him so special and one of the best coaches to ever coach this game, obviously he's super smart, but he can relate. When I was with him in Philadelphia, he was a cool dude. He was fair, he was tough, but he also lets your personality show. That's one of his sayings. Every game he says, hey guys, play hard, but let your personality show. I get with him maybe 10 years later, 9 years, 8 years later, something like that, with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. He was a little different. Same guy, but it's different. And he had to adjust to the younger crowd. The younger crowd is different now, a little more sensitive, a little more entitled, but he finds a way to still be tough and coach you well, but I can relate. So now, Andy Reid, if you watch him, he's 70, or I don't know how old he is, he's not young. But he's in there, they winning.
He's what, 60?
He's dancing, he's having fun. His wife Miss Reed is an amazing woman. Like, so all these things matter.
He's 65.
Yeah, all these things compared to like a Belichick, not the, but.
Well, Belichick, Carroll seems to be
like,
like somebody who could relate to players.
Yeah.
But so relating to players.
Best of both worlds.
Relating to players is maybe more important than some people think.
Yeah, and then Andy's a guy that he's gonna give you a second chance. People didn't want to take Michael Vick, right? After the dogfighting thing. And Andy Reid did. He knows how important it is. Hey, listen, who am I to judge somebody, right? He made a mistake, he paid for it. Let's give him a second chance. A lot
That's
of
why he's
coaches,
special.
they're not doing that. That's why he's a special coach.
This week I had A.J. Brown and Devontae
My boys.
Smith. They were very quiet. It was the most awkward interview of my life.
They were quiet?
They were quiet. They were trolling
Next time,
me. They
call
didn't wanna,
me and I'm going to get the best out of them.
I needed you here. I was like, it was a whole thing. But we talked about expectations for their new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and here Devontae does not say a lot, but this went off for some reason. Take a look. Okay, if you could have one wish and say, Kellen Moore, this is what I need for next season. This is what I want you to bring into this locker room, bring to this offense. What would that be?
Just let us do what we do.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
like anybody else, let's say, just give us the ball.
What are they saying? Translate.
Listen,
that for me.
I guess it looks like they don't want to say what they want to say.
Tell me what they want to say.
I don't know. I can't. But this is what I will do. I'm gonna make a text to my boys.
You always text. Last time you were here, you were texting Howie Roseman.
And he texts you back. He told you that. So, I think our issue is just be on the same page. Like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's an amazing combination, right? And then you got Jalen Hurts. I think that we need to simplify the game for Jalen Hurts, right? I think once you get paid, everybody expects you just to be this superhero. And then look at a guy like Brock Purdy, even a guy like Dak. Like, they simplify the game and make it easier for him. We should do that. We got the talent to do it.
So is that a Brian Johnson smile? The faces they're making, like, let us do what we do. It's almost like, are you saying give us the ball more? I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, I would take it as, I think Jalen needs to play better, right? Which they can't say that. I can say that.
Yeah, I didn't ask. After that, I didn't ask about Jalen.
Jalen's an elite player. We need him to play better, right? The way you play in the Super Bowl, the way we paid you, we need that. And I think also the coordinator, we need you to simplify the game plan and get these guys the ball.
We're gonna take a
break. That's what I'm thinking.
We're gonna take. I don't know. You text them in this break. I do want to ask you before we go the comments from Micah Parsons. He has.
Wait, he's
his
from Harrisburg. You know that, right?
He's what?
We're from the same hometown.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Are you guys friends?
We cool.
Can you be friends? I don't know how that works.
We cool. Yeah.
He has a podcast, the Edge podcast. And here were his words.
My boy, man.
At the end of the day, we were just outperformed, out-schemed. They had an answer for everything. People saying, well, why ain't you go to linebacker? Guess what? The packages are in for me to go to linebacker. I can only play what it's called. I'm not putting out personnel. I've even told multiple players, coaches, that I'm very fine playing linebacker. In playoffs, if that's what y'all want me to do, I just want to win.
I mean, is that not?
No.
At who? He's saying they're out-coached.
Yeah, they were out-coached. They were out-coached, they were outplayed, a lot of things. And Dan Quinn, I think, is excellent. Defense coordinator. But, I mean, this is not saying it's an excuse, but the same calls he's been making all year, he wasn't playing linebacker all year. Michael Parsons is a phenomenal player, and I think Dan Quinn has done a good job with that defense. Just wasn't their day. The main common factor that we keep noticing, why they keep losing, it ain't Parsons, it ain't defense. You know what it is.
It's not, I mean, that defense got.
What about the main reason?
McCarthy?
No.
Dak Prescott?
Ding, ding, ding.
So what would a roster improvement look like? Like, is there a world where this roster improves without Dak Prescott?
Man, that roster's great.
So who would you put in there that's like, all right, we're going. Now we're going. Kirk Cousins? Russell Wilson?
I can see Kurt over there. I think Kurt
You
and
could see
Dak's kind of
Kurt.
the same guy, right?
But
the thing is, in the primetime game, I need you to produce. I don't need you to give me picks. I don't need you to give me pick sixes, right? You got to come back from that. I'm being serious.
No, we don't need that.
I need you to play an efficient game. The whole year he played elite football, MVP caliber football, right? That's why he was in the conversation.
Yeah.
I need that same thing in the playoffs. Too many times we see the same results in the playoffs. Good season, playoffs, you throw picks, we lose. Last year, same thing. You throw picks, we lose.
I'm surprised.
I can't make this up.
I'm surprised Jerry doesn't have it in him to what it is about Jerry that he's not like McCarthy by. Or
you don't like McCarthy? I like McCarthy.
Not that I don't like McCarthy. I think that he hasn't gotten them where they need to go. And if you're Jerry Jones, how many more chances are you going to get at this thing?
Okay, so
I don't think I'm hesitant. I don't think he'll make a change at quarterback. Do you?
He said they wouldn't. He said.
So I just think
he said we go as his last interview.
I admire the loyalty, but at a certain point, like you want, like, doesn't he want to just shake the whole tree?
I mean, I don't know if he cares though, because his last interview he said, "Hey, we're only going to go as far as Dak Prescott takes us, and where we stopped is where he stopped or where he took us to, and that was that was a divisional game. Divisional game they lost, right? So you took us there and we lost. So if you're saying this player is going to take us to the promised land, or this quarterback's going to take us where we need to go, and every year you end at this stop,
yeah.
What are you telling your team? What are you telling your fans? What are you telling yourself? I can't make this up.
I can't.
You see what I'm saying?
Lie, and I can't make this. We're gonna take a break here, and we're gonna go into the mind of Andy Reid. You know Andy Reid better than anyone. We're gonna do
That's
that. We're gonna get
special
some
mind.
story times out of Shady. Can you text Devontae Smith, please, and AJ Brown and ask them why they were so? I don't even know what they were. They were like.
I told you what it was.